Hello, it's Daddy Mike and Daddy Anthony.
Daddy Daycare.
And this is the Daddy Daycare podcast, giving you the best fatherly advice to you single dads out there. Oh, no, wait, we're on the Average Bros. This is actually the Average Bros podcast. We have two podcasts. We get them confused sometimes.
We have the Average Dads and the Average Bros.
Yeah. Average Daddies. But this is the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast, episode 46. We're doing Waiver Wire.
I was like, did you forget for a second?
Yeah, I did. I blanked. It's week 11's done. We're going into week 12. Listen, you got 2 more weeks, and then it's playoffs, baby.
Side note: if you don't want to be a dad, you want to shoot blanks. He said you blinked.
Oh no, I blinked. Oh, I blanked. Oh yeah, I did blink. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's like you heard a word, you're like, how could I tie this in?
I was like, squirrel.
Okay, we're talking about who you need to pick up this next couple weeks to ensure when you go into the playoffs, you're gonna do well.
Or if you just want to be a spoiler.
Yeah, unless you want to. Yeah, I like to do that. That's fun. I don't give up. I'll fuck somebody's
I'll take
fantasy.
Take your playoff hopes away, or I'll just be that asshole where it's like, damn it, you're the number one waiver wire, and you're out, and you took him, piece of shit.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, week 12. Let's just get into it. Let's talk about some quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks. Was there any some big news? Marlon Mack. His fingers hurt. The thing that's attached to his hand, that's broken.
Yeah. Marlon Mack broke his hand.
My fingers hurt.
Yeah, his fingers hurt.
All 5.
As well as his hand. He had surgery actually on his hand, so that's we'll get into that, whether or not it's worth picking up running backs for backup for Marlon Mack or not. But we'll get into that on the running back side of things. But that's pretty devastating. If you have Marlon Mack, he didn't have the best playoff matchups, but it still is a guy you're playing week in, week out. And he was about to have a monster game. I think all 3 running backs actually ended up scoring in that game.
Yeah, all 4 if you include him, I think, right? Maybe not all 4, but he was one of the 3, I think, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was like over 100 and the touchdown, and then what's his name scored?
Wilkins.
And Williams scored.
And Nyheim Hines.
Yeah, it was just a scoring fest, but not for...
Marlon Mack got 1, but that's,
Yeah.
He could have easily finished with probably like
he could have been the RB1 in the week for sure. So quarterbacks.
So let's get right into these quarterbacks.
Let's jump right into quarterbacks.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm trying to pull.
Dude, so I was watching football with my dad. We were watching the Cardinals game, and they went to a commercial break or something, and that drop went off, and all I thought was his podcast, dude. I just started dying laughing, and my dad looked at me, and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, I don't know. I can't even explain it.
Dad, you can't see me.
Yeah, but it was funny. So let's talk about quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks.
Who's your number 1 quarterback this week? I don't think there was anybody. Are you gonna, now that they played Chase Daniel at the end of the game, or are you gonna? There's a lot of drama in Chicago right now, by the way.
Yeah. Are we going?
I'm kidding.
I mean, do you want to go just quarterback? I don't know if I have a number 1 quarterback ad. I think it's more along the lines of who do I like streaming this week,
Sure.
Per se.
Sure.
You could say.
Yeah.
You just may. Sorry, I'm looking up something real fast. I know one quarterback I've been touching on for a few weeks now is Mr. Derek Toy Story Carr.
Yeah, he put up some numbers.
Yeah. Another week with over 280 yards. It wasn't like a super amazing game. 291 and 1. You'd like to see more from them at home against Cincinnati, but they do get to face off against who was it again this week? The Jets.
They just played the Bengals too, and you got some good matchups with Derek Carr.
Yeah, and they do get to play the Jets this week. The Jets' offense has looked a little better as of the last few weeks, but that defense is no good. We know that. Like I said, Derek Carr. That's 4 weeks now, over 280 yards.
Good for him.
I think it's a matchup where you could see him get his first 300. He's just getting close to 300. You just can't do it. So maybe he'll get 299 this week. So he's someone I don't mind as a streaming option this week. Jets, not a good defense. Derek Carr, the 6-4 Raiders, which I think when the preseason you weren't like, oh, the Raiders are going to be a 6-4 team in 10 weeks.
Especially with Antonio Brown being gone.
Yeah, it seemed like all the drama, everything that was going on, it seemed like they were going to be a team that was going to be like not 6-4.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So 6-4, they're in the hunt for the playoffs. This is a big game for them on the road. They need to win this. I like Derek Carr in this matchup.
I like it.
Say no less, son.
How? Say.
How?
Say less.
Say less.
My finger. I was like, say less.
Yeah, I like it. Any other quarterbacks you're interested in this upcoming week?
You got Jacoby Brissett. He's coming back. He's going against the Houston Texans this week.
And we just watched Baltimore put up a lot of points against them.
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of teams put up a lot of points against them.
Yeah.
Their defense is I believe they're bottom. I got to pull up those numbers too. Bottom 5 passing defense as far as yardage goes. Yeah, they're the number 29th rank as far as passing yardage goes against defenses.
Right. And you're kind of looking at guys like the Eagles and stuff. If you're trying to stream a quarterback, but yeah, I think Houston's kind of low key been under the radar.
Yeah,
people have been exploiting that passing defense and that secondary. Definitely take advantage of it for sure. Yeah, and then
the injury of Jordan Mack. I just can hyperfuse 2 running backs, Jordan Wilkins and Marlon Mack. The injury, it sucks for the Colts running game in a sense, but I think that only elevates Jacoby Brissett in this matchup.
Yeah.
And it is a division game. Houston does have, Deshaun Watson in that offense. So there is always potential shootout in this matchup. And if those bullets start firing, Jacoby's going to fire his bullets back.
Yeah, they're 29th out of 32 teams.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like Jacoby Brissett this week, Thursday night matchup. Eric Ebron and T.Y. Hilton are both on the injury report. If those two come back, it's just a bump to his matchup, but I do like him this week.
I like it.
I like
it.
Send it in. No flub. Another quarterback I like this week. It's gonna sound crazy. Whoa!
I had it hooked up to the Bluetooth.
It's gonna sound a little crazy, but Red Dead Driscoll.
Yeah, you like it,
dude? I kind of like it.
You like Jeff Driscoll?
I like Jeff Driscoll. I'm not even just just want to talking the Driscoll boys type of accent, but 2 pretty decent weeks in him back to back. And what I like is he offers a rushing upside.
Yeah.
He might be the Lions running back this week because they're down to Bo Scarborough.
He had a couple rushing plays where I noticed every quarterback, I seen him do a spin move. I'm like, you must have been watching Lamar Jackson.
Or Fitzpatrick. He doesn't do like a spin move. He does like a backspin, and then it's like, oh, the backspin.
But he ran up like 5 yards and did a spin move. Obviously, it wasn't as successful, but I mean, he was putting that rushing yardage up.
Yeah, he's got
because I forgot Matt Stafford was out, so I was like, oh my god, when does Matt Stafford?
Dude, that back's not broken. If this guy can move like that, his back is not broken. It's final. I know it was 30. I think it was 38 yards the first week when he came in for Stafford or started for Stafford, and then last week he had 51 yards and a touchdown. So basically, he's averaged 40 yards rushing in the 2 games he's started. And if he's getting you 40 rushing yards on the ground, that's basically in any kind of 4-point passing league. Not basically, it is. It's a touchdown.
Right.
So basically, he's getting you a touchdown in a sense with his legs alone.
Right.
When it comes to standard leagues. With that, and then he gets to play the Washington Redskins.
Yeah,
and I don't know what's good. That team is no good. They're like the third. How do I word this? Their pressure rate is the 3rd lowest in the league, which means
they don't pressure the quarterback.
Which means you have more time to throw. Which means
more fantasy points.
Driscoll's gonna be firing up some points for his boys. And it doesn't hurt that you have Kenny Galladay and Marvin Jones and even Damian Amendola with 2 M's. So you have pretty good options out there. So kind of that helps just elevate him. I'm not even lying. There's a pretty decent chance I start him this week.
Would you start him over Derek Carr?
I would say I might start him over Dak Prescott this week. You started with the D.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, wow.
Noah Amari Cooper potentially. They're facing off against New England. It's a thought that's crossing my mind.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I will, but it's a thought that's digging some deeper into some stats this week, kind of
So
seeing
go
the
pick 'em
Cooper
up.
report. So
Pick 'em up.
under the radar type of move. Yeah, you could do worse than Jeff Driscoll. That's for sure.
Yeah, I like it. It's hot.
Hansel.
That's what I call hot.
Hansel.
Any other quarterbacks you want to speak on?
I mean, I guess you could say Sam Darnold, but that's on you.
Yeah, it's just like kind of what Sam Darnold are you gonna get? That's the deal.
I mean, has he thrown for more than 2 touchdowns all year? I don't know his numbers, but I feel like
I don't think he has.
I don't think he has. I think he's pulling the Baker Mayfield.
I mean, he's only played half the game, so I mean, less than
Half the
half.
season.
Yeah, half the season.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to see if we could find Sam Darnold's numbers real quick. Yeah, I mean, play at your own risk. He's someone I'm not. Like I said, I've been out on.
Yeah, I'm actually in a couple waiver wire claims I put in. I'm dropping Sam Darnold just because I think I have 2 quarterbacks and I'm just whatever. I'm okay,
I lied. He threw for 4 touchdowns last week. Did he?
Maybe.
I think it must have been the one game I overlooked.
Yeah, he did do good last week.
Okay,
He
yeah, I was
put up, like,
confusing him.
26
I was
points.
confusing him with someone else. Yeah, he did have a pretty good game last week. He does go against Oakland. It's one of those guys where it's going to be 1 touchdown in a bad game, or it's going to be, I don't know. It's just hard for me to trust Sam Darnold at this point, even against Oakland. And Oakland's been playing pretty well. It's like I know you hear Oakland's their passing defense isn't that good, but I mean they're I know they've been playing pretty well. It's like I said, it's on you if you want to start Sam Darnold.
Right.
I think I'm just like I said, I've just been out on the Jets for quite some time now.
Yeah.
It's a personal thing.
I think Oakland's a better team than they get credit for, and I just can't see the Jets really.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, if you did pick him up, he does have a nice schedule going forward in Cincinnati and Miami the next 2 weeks after that. So, he's someone you could use for basically the next 3 weeks potentially. If you're going to play him this week and he has another good game, you could basically just kind of try and ride that wave and hope he stays hot for the next
so
2
maybe
weeks.
if you have Sam Darnold, hold on to him.
Yeah.
Wait until after this week to start him again. Good bat. You know what? I'm going to change his waiver wire claims. Don't listen to 5 minutes or 30 seconds ago, Mike. Listen to it right now, Mike.
Listen to Mike, man. Don't listen to past Mike. Listen to present Mike.
Yeah, well, just because those are some pretty good matchups, and you don't want to go into the playoffs without a quarterback.
Yeah.
Say your main gets hurt. Not a bad backup. Yeah, right now it's very much. As much as we're saying like these guys have good matchups this week, maybe for streaming these are good, but really be on the lookout for some quarterbacks or mostly like running backs and wide receivers as kind of handcuffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there is always like an injury towards the end of the year, and it really just kind of screws everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who's the matchups up there?
Yeah, on the right here.
I guess another quarterback could be, Ryan Tannehill. I think he said 20. He's been above 20. I know in like most formats, I think it's been above 19 or 18, 20, something like that. In all of his starts so far. So, he gets Jacksonville this week. I know you hear the name Jacksonville, but it's not Saxonville anymore. It's no longer there.
How many T-shirts do you think that they are like? Fuck, dude, we printed all these Saxonville T-shirts.
They're like they're handing them out.
They're like, dude, but we don't sack anymore.
Free Saxonville shirts. Come to the game. They're like, I'm good.
I hope the Jaguars go to London. Bro, I was talking about it with my coworker, with Jay, from the London.
Yeah.
I was talking to him. I was like thinking in my head, dude, if they got a London team, that would be such a home field advantage.
Yeah, because you don't.
You have to travel for like fucking 14 hours to get there.
Then their road games would be the same way.
Yeah, I guess.
So they'd be 8-8 every year.
But like, have you ever seen the chants and the shit that they do at these soccer games out there?
Yeah,
Like they literally, they don't even. Dude, I was talking to Jay. He was like, "We don't even watch the games. We just fucking yell." They put one side is one team, the other side is the other team, and they just chant shit at each other, and they yell at each other. Like, could you imagine fucking going to a game, like a football game, and like all these London fans? They would like it would just you'd be fucked. It'd be like the Seahawks Stadium times 10.
Yeah. Because it'd be like everyone, instead of going for one team on one side, it'd be they're all for one side.
They're all, dude, and those guys are so fucking patriotic.
They'd all be making Jaguar noises.
Oh my god. And no 1, 2, 3. All at once. Jesus. Okay. Do you want to talk about some running backs or you want to get into more quarterbacks?
Do you want to talk about some running backs?
I do. I would like to talk about some running backs. There's a couple guys I'm interested in. And also, I'm interested in what you think.
Tell me who you're interested in.
I think there's a couple obvious guys, but I kind of want to talk about the Chiefs side of the ball.
Go Steelers.
No. Well, that's like kind of.
It's kind of he's probably owned, but
Yeah. But I kind of like the Chiefs side of things. What do you think about picking up Darrell Williams
I think he's.
after the?
They're on a
Damian
bye
Way-
week,
Oh,
so don't punch your mics, or do punch your mics.
yeah.
So it's with the bye week said. I think he's someone where you have to be more in a position where you can sit and wait another week. If you're like a team who's fighting for a playoff berth and you need someone to play this week or stream or defense or a quarterback to pick up, I would go more on that route because you do have the bye week and you got to assume that Damian Williams should be back healthy in 2 weeks and that's going to kind of damper his outlook. But if you're kind of a deeper team and you're kind of set up for, you could say you're set up for the playoffs and you want to add him as someone you can maybe, flex when he's back that week if the cards fall the right way or going forward if there's some injuries. That's where I don't mind him as that.
Yeah. I just think that I was discussing it with I was watching my dad watching some football on Monday. Was that Monday night game in Mexico? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, but it's going to be a committee. I don't want to mess with that. But I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, even though it's a committee, you see Damian Williams putting up points and you do see McCoy putting up points. And I think Darrell Williams will be viable, but maybe that could be like you can wait after this week and maybe pick him up Sunday morning, like last second. He'll probably be there. If I had to guess, he's probably would be someone's last.
Yeah,
People are going to be picking up. It depends on your league. If Jalen Samuels is there, they'll be picking him up in front. They'll be picking up probably Wilkins or Nyheim Hines, I would guess.
Yeah, I think Wilkins, Hines will probably get added. Like I said, you have Bo Scarborough, someone who people might add. You can use him this week against the Washington Redskins potentially.
Yeah.
So I think these are guys who will be added first before Darrell Williams.
Okay. Now, let's get into the Colts backfield. Are you interested in talking about that real quick?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about that, dude. So, yeah, man, that Marlon Mack injury, we touched on it a little bit before. Who do you think is the guy to pick up there? Is it? I think it's Nyheim Hines.
I would say Wilkins if he's healthy, but I don't know if he's healthy either. He's kind of questionable too. So it leaves you with Wilkins if he's there potentially, because we've seen all year that he's been the two. If he's not there, then you have to go on the side of either Nyheim Hines or what's his name again? Williams. I know it's Williams, but I forget.
It's Jonathan Williams.
Jonathan Williams.
I think.
Yeah, and I mean he was pretty efficient himself. He was 120. I think it was like over 100 yards and a touchdown. Was that just a factor of the game? Coming in as a second running back. We don't know, but I think with either of these guys, they're definitely no Marlon Mack. I think I do like Nyheim Hines in the sense that I think his third down role is secure, and then he offers. Maybe they give him a few more touches on the ground and. He's in a PPR format. We saw last year Mac got hurt a couple times. He was a pretty good play in a PPR format. So it's kind of they play Thursday night, which makes it tough.
Jonathan, that's right.
Yeah, they make it tough. So they play Thursday night. So I'm kind of with you where Hines would probably be my one.
Yeah.
And then
he's kind of my number one pickup this week.
Yeah, and then if I'm looking for some upside, maybe I shoot Williams or Wilkins if they play. I probably say Williams. So I'd go 1, 2, 3 in that order.
Yeah. Just with that being okay, I'm pretty much on the same page. I'm going for Nyheim Hines. I might not even really go for these other guys. Maybe Wilkins. I don't know if I'm going for Jonathan Williams. I'd rather go for if Jalen Samuels is there or.
If Jalen Samuels is there, he's someone you got to just grab in general because what's going on with James Conner's shoulder is his shoulder is no good.
Yeah.
It keeps like re-injuring it, re-aggravating it. So if he's out by any means, he's an RB 2, and especially with his PPR upside. And then if James Conner there, he's still a usable piece.
Yeah.
And they play the Bengals this week, right?
It's where are we looking? Oh, yeah, playing the Bengals.
So that's a really good matchup. So even if Conner is out there, you could still play him. And if Conner's out, you're definitely playing him. And he's available in 65% he's taken in 65% of leagues, so that means he's available in 35%.
Yeah. All the leagues that I need him to be available in, He's not.
He's not.
That's just how it goes. Now, let's talk about. I just want to talk about real quick. You might have picked up. These guys might have picked up Brian Hill this last week. You didn't get what you wanted out of him. I played him in 2 leagues. I was kind of disappointed. Put up like 5 points. He did get a touchdown called back. So, do you obviously? I don't think you're playing Brian Hill this week. So, but are you dropping Brian Hill if you picked him up?
No, I think you're still rostering him unless Devontae Freeman comes back. But I think what was his?
No, he's
out for a few more weeks, right?
Yeah. I'm keeping him in because they play. I think they play.
I'm still keeping him in
because they're playing Carolina again. That's like kind of the matchup that I'm looking forward to watching.
They play Tampa Bay this week.
Yeah, but they play him again before the playoffs. I'm pretty sure. Or in the playoffs.
I mean, he's someone I'm not dropping, but I'm probably not playing this week against Atlanta or against Tampa Bay. Tough run defense. He hasn't looked that efficient. Atlanta's defense. I mean, the only thing you kind of can hang your head on is if you're going to start Brian Hill, which I guess we can get up into this in the matchups, but I could talk about it now for a second. Is that Tampa Bay's defense has made a complete 180 in the last 2 games, and it's not necessarily a fluke. It's that they changed the defensive coordinators. Dan Quinn basically gave up play calling and gave it over to I don't know the guy's name, but there's the linebacker coach and someone else are calling plays now, and it's a whole different defense.
Right.
So and with that said, Jameis Winston seems like he throws a pick every other play. So there's a chance that they could get up in that game due to Jameis being Jameis. And, you do see Brian Hill have a heavy carry game.
Right.
So, I mean, he's someone you can play, especially if you have maybe like Melvin Gordon on a bye or Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
And you need someone with the guaranteed workload. So I'm not dropping him, but, he's not a sexy play.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I agree. I'm holding on to him in a couple leagues. I might, if I'm in a position, I might drop, say if Jalen Samuels is there and I need him, I'm in a pinch. I would drop Brian Hill for Jalen Samuels.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just think that you have more opportunity in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I just think that
if you need that's tough.
The Steelers, I don't know. For me, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I wouldn't drop. I don't think I would drop.
I would try and have both of them if I could.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't like if I have like a defense, 2 defenses, I'd probably drop one of the defenses. Or if I have a receiver that's like a guy I'm never playing, but he's still okay, I'd rather go that route. Because running backs are hard to come by, and especially if you lose one, it's nice to have someone you can count on to at least
put up
be
something.
serviceable.
Right.
You don't want to be like me having to start Kalen Ballage.
Yeah. Any other running backs besides? I was going to talk about handcuffs for a second, unless there's some other streaming. Other guys
I mean, you have Raheem
up.
Mostert, who last week was for over 100 yards. I can't remember if he scored or not off of head. It's funny way to say that. I can't remember if he scored, but if Matt Breida out again, it just it's not, they don't commit to one running back, so it's going to be a committee. We've seen him have efficient weeks, and if Matt Breida's out, he's along that lines of like a Jalen Samuels type of start in the number one. I think there might be the number 1 overall rushing team. As far as like fantasy points go, I know they're top 5.
Yeah,
it's not like they have one guy who's the number 1 like RB1, but they have like overall as their offense. I think a top 5 rushing attack.
Yeah.
So he's someone attack. Bo Scarborough. I mean, it's one of those cases where it's like I'm not really bidding much or burning a waiver wire on it, but
yeah,
I mean, he seemed to somewhat get the start this week. But it seems like the Lions don't even. I think it might be week to week. One player is going to get more. They might be like, oh, we like Bo Scarborough this week. We like McKissick. We like Trey. It's like it's just I don't know. It's kind of ugly over there.
Yeah, I keep playing J.D. McKissick in a double flex league, but just because I'm so deep, it's so deep this league. 3 wide receiver. I'm just so deep, dude. So deep. Now I lost Marlon Mack. I'm fucking.
Now you got to go even deeper.
Oh, so much deeper.
So deep.
Yeah, so I'm with you there. Look at all these guys. That's what's so frustrating, but also it's just part of doing the waiver wire is you pick up guys and then they don't do anything. Like Ty Johnson was the number 1 waiver wire pickup 2 or 3 weeks ago, and what the fuck did you get from that?
You got a bunch of Trey Carson.
Yeah, exactly. So
you saw people like. I saw people like spending like hella fab. They're like,
oh, a lot. I think I put 17. Someone put like 24.
I saw like 40s.
Oh,
like
shit.
people were like burning like
40%.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm getting carry on. It's like, nah, you're not.
Yeah, was barely carry on.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, say less.
So with that being said, I think my biggest thing is picking up what's it called, handcuffs right now. That's what I'm kind of targeting. If I don't get these other guys, I am going to put a lot of running back waiver wire claims in. I'm trying to get Alexander Madison. I'm trying to get I mean, I can't even think off the head, but that's like a main guy I'm looking at. I'm trying to get Latavius Murray.
You got your Wayne Gallmans. You got
Wayne
your
Gallmans.
Latavius Murray.
You know, these are all guys that I'm trying to make sure I have on my team. Leonard Fournette's backup. What's his name again?
Armstead.
I'm not mad at
Armstead. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah,
Tony
I'm not
Pollard.
mad at that. Tony Pollard, I grabbed in like 2 leagues last week. These are all names of guys that I think if they're out there and you have, like, say you have 2 defenses, fuck that, dude. Drop one of those defenses and
Yeah,
pick
fuck
up,
that.
Pick up one of these guys. Pick up Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard scored Ezekiel Elliott this past week. He put up like 17 points. He had a touchdown and I think 100 yards. He did. Tony Pollard had more fantasy points than Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel had 2 touchdowns.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, I'll fuck you.
Yes.
Wait, hold on.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe that was the week before.
Yeah,
No,
he
had 2
definitely did.
touchdowns.
He definitely.
2
Listen,
for 28
dude.
and tug, 60, 45
Listen,
touchdown.
dude, I'm a doctor, okay?
Dude, I don't know if you're a doctor. If you are, you need to prescribe yourself some medicine.
Tony Pollard, 12 yards receiving touchdown, 12 rushing yards, 2-point conversion, 44 receiving yards. And then what did Zeke have?
Zeke had, I don't think he outscored him. He had a good game, though.
Listen, dude, I'm right on this. I know I am. And I'm not leaving this. Oh, he did it. He didn't. He did have 2 touchdowns.
I did.
So gay, dude.
So
You know what it was?
good.
Is I looked at that stat during the game when he got some.
You
garbage
probably
shit.
saw it before Zeke scored that last touchdown with the
Yeah,
receiving.
that's what it was.
You know what? I'm mad at you.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
sorry, listeners.
Never
I'm sorry.
apologize.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, these were that. If you can pick up these handcuffs, like I said, Tony Pollard, what's it called? Jalen Samuels, I guess, is kind of not really, but pick them up still. Who am I? I'm drawing blanks. Wayne Gallman, Latavius Murray, Rashard Bahanafan behind Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is literally their entire offense. So if you get the backup running back, even if he does half that, it's still worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick up all those guys.
Agree. Wide receivers?
Let's talk about some wide receivers.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
I think everyone's number wide receiver add this week would be Debo
Samuel. Yep.
He's out there looking like Debo from next Friday. He's just in his full jumpsuit, looking going for 100 yards,
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah,
throwing people across the street.
I like it.
Is that next Friday? I can't remember. I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah, I never really got into those, to be honest. But yeah,
Right.
Debo Samuel, pick him up.
Pick him up.
Pick him
Yeah, I
up.
mean, Kittle's been out for 2 weeks. Manny Sanders is not right. And I believe that this team is 8-2. 1? They lost 1 game or 2 games?
Who?
The 49ers. But either way, they're a
They
top
lost
team.
to the Seahawks.
Yeah,
obviously.
either way, they're headed for the playoffs. So I think there's some games where they might try and limit Samuel or get him healthy. You saw what he did when he was there 1, so they need him back for this playoff run. And I think they maybe sit him out a week or 2 and try and get him right before they. It's a big matchup in Green Bay, but Debo Samuel back-to-back weeks looks good. So yeah, I think he'd be the number 1. Will Fuller, I guess you can add him. I don't. It's been so hit or miss with that wide receiver too that over there where it's
Yeah.
it's like Robbie Anderson, but they've had maybe 1 or 2 more good games.
Right.
So it's he's one of those guys where it's I probably won't go after him, but there's gonna be people who like the upside. So for me, it's if you want to add him, go ahead. But I'm not chasing Will Fuller personally.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, wide receivers is a little. I feel like wide receivers is probably one of the harder positions to on a weekly basis for waiver wire. What about Darius Slayton?
He has a bye week, so it's I'm not grabbing him to hold on to him, and then he has
He's not on a bye week this week.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
you're
already
right.
had theirs week 5 or something.
Who did they play this week?
The Giants are playing the Chicago Bears.
So
I like Darius Slayton. I don't mind it. I think that him and Golden Tate seem pretty viable. Even what Sterling Shepard just seems like he just can't get healthy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 2 in this offense, or he could stay the 3 or 4 on a given week with Saquon Barkley and Evan Ingram. I don't know. He's just someone for me where it's like I don't see a lot of upside for Daniel Jones in this matchup against Chicago, so it's hard for me to bank on him to out target Tate and the who's the running back? Saquon Barkley and Evan Ingram. So I guess I don't hate it, but he's someone I'm probably not necessarily going after.
He's 70% available, so he's probably there. If you're in a wide receiver pinch.
Yeah. How do you feel on the Kansas City guys? Because to me, it's like if Tyreek Hill, I feel like you're playing like Russian roulette.
Yeah, I can't sit here and tell somebody listening to this, like, go pick up this guy. This guy.
He's gonna have the big week,
right? Because you just don't know. If you want to take that gamble, like if you're in a type of spot and you want to do, if that's something you want to do, that's fine. I'd be going with a Darius Slayton. I'd be going with an AJ Brown before then.
Yeah,
I'd be going with these types of guys before.
Yeah, so same here. I'm not like I don't want to play that game of either 2 or 20 unless I'm in
Sammy Watkins had an amazing catch. Like he's really good. There's just too many wide receivers that are.
It's gonna be one of those. Tier. It's gonna be one of those 3 guys who has a big week, and it's like so you're basically spinning the wheel. And if it lands on your guy, you're happy. If it doesn't, you're like, oh shit. Yeah. So yeah, it's for me. I'm probably staying away from those 3 unless it's like I'm in like a high score league and I just want to take a shot to get a high score. That's where I'd start one of those guys. I mean Robbie Anderson. For me, it's a no, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like a dice throw, but I mean,
it's been like every week it's just been dud after dud after dud after dud. And last week he had a decent game, and it's like he didn't do anything on his 4 touchdown game until like the last like couple plays of the game. I feel like,
right?
Because I was watching him on the bench, and it was like 2-point-something points, and all of a sudden he had like 7.5 points. So it's like, I mean.
Yeah, it's just rough. Could Robbie Anderson put up decent points against Oakland? Yeah, definitely. But like you said,
3 points. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you one thing.
Do you like AJ Brown?
Yes.
I like AJ Brown.
Yeah, I mean I've liked him. I don't like to like over jump like a reaction where someone has a bad week and say, oh, it's like write him off. But I don't mind AJ Brown. He's a couple, like he was pretty consistent for the weeks before that. So they do go against Jacksonville. Corey Davis should see AJ Bouye, who's still their one lone good corner over there. So, yeah, I don't mind AJ Brown.
Yeah,
I think I'd be looking possibly someone who's a little deeper would be Randall Cobb. You've seen back-to-back pretty big games out of him, and if Mark Cooper's not out there, I think Bill Belichick's going to scheme to take away the running game in Zeke, and then they're going to scheme to take away Gallup, which could lead to another big game for Cobb potentially, if this is any kind of like shootout. So I don't mind Cobb this week at all. Could see a third week out of him. That's a pretty good game.
Yeah, not bad. It's got crazy eyeballs. You ever seen those? Anyways. He does though, really.
If you're a fan of crazy eyeballs, he has like these like,
he has like
super light, like they're like
green,
they're
dude.
Like brown green.
They're fucking bright green. He's got some weird looking eyeballs.
He's gonna listen to this podcast. Who's guys have my weird eyeballs?
He does, dude. I mean, dude, if he would scare me. If I seen him at like the Thanksgiving dinner, I'd be like, whoa.
If Randall Cobb's at your Thanksgiving dinner, bro, you better invite me.
Nah, dude, fuck that guy. No, I'm just kidding. What if I just started a beef with Randall Cobb?
You guys are just going at it.
Fuck that guy. Okay, this is kind of crazy, but I've done it in a couple leagues. I picked up Antonio Brown in like 3 different leagues. Did you see his tweet today?
It's not crazy.
Did you see his tweet today?
It's not as crazy as him.
Did you see his tweet today?
No.
The cocaine has worn off. Antonio Brown apologized to the Patriots. He apologized to what's the owner?
Raiders.
What's his name? The guy, hand job guy.
Oh, Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft. He said
it's funny that I know you're talking about the hand job guy, but instantly I was like Robert Kraft.
Yeah. Okay. So he apologized on Twitter to Robert Kraft and the Patriots organization. Said, "I'm sorry. I was going through a lot of things. Whatever. I apologize. Like I just wanted to be an asset to the team." Blah, blah, blah. He's making moves. He's had meetings with the NFL. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets put back on the Patriots somehow.
I don't know about the Patriots, but I could see him going somewhere.
I could see him. I'm picking him up in leagues. If I can have Antonio Brown for week 16 at the least.
Yeah, if you could put him on the IR, I would do that for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he can. But
I don't think we
I
have a
picked him up in
commissioner.
3 leagues, and when it comes down to it, like, yeah, I could be burning it. I mean, right now I have AJ Green on my bench, and he hasn't done anything all year.
I mean, I don't like. I mean, someone like maybe like. I mean, Philly's kind of feel like out of it for the most part, but I mean, if someone sustains a big injury, who's really, I mean, like I hate to say this because I love the player, but like Michael Thomas, like if something were to happen to him, you know, I could see a move like that happening, especially the New Orleans Saints, who are a playoff team, and it's kind of like Michael Thomas is like the one-man receiver show in a sense. So that's someone where I could see if he got injured and banged up for a few weeks, where they sign Antonio Brown to kind of for that stretch run.
Listen, I've seen crazier things happen in the NFL. So
Yeah.
I'm picking up Antonio Brown. I know people might give me shit for it, whatever.
Nah, I don't hate
but,
that.
You know,
Hey, you gotta
I'd
play
rather
to-
I'd rather
you
have
gotta
him
play
on
to
my
win.
bench. Yeah, I'd rather have him on my bench just chilling and nothing happen than
I'd rather have him than
so-
Robbie Anderson.
not playing.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, you want to talk about some tight ends?
Ooh, I love tight ends.
Listen, I'll
There's
tell you,
some tight ends this week, bro.
there is some tight
The league
ends.
did their squatting, and there was some tight ends. I could tell you that. My eyes are fixed. I'll tell you one tight end I'm fucking dropping this week is OJ Howard. Every league I have him in, I'm just cutting him.
Bro, check this out.
I was like, if I can cut him mid-game, mid-fantasy week, I would cut him.
I picked last minute, 5 minutes before the 10 a.m. We're on the West Coast. 10 a.m. The game start. 9:55. I have OJ Howard in my lineup. Took a deep breath, picked up Ross Dweller, threw him up. Dweckler? I don't know. Picked a backup for George Kittle, threw him in my lineup. Fucking 17 points, baby.
Hey.
Won me my week.
That's what
Fuck
you're
OJ
fucking
Howard. Drop his ass.
Drop his ass, fucking OJ. Get your ass in the... that was stupid.
Testosterone, whatever the fuck it is.
Listen, he's got no more.
Testosterone.
He's got no more Shashesharon. Fuck that guy. That guy's dead to me.
Dead to me.
Dead
He's
to me.
officially dead to us.
Yeah. Drop OJ Howard. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Unless you're in like a
Dynasty.
don't do that.
Yeah, that's the only way I'd hold. Even then, fuck him.
Okay, that's what other tight. I think we just started talking about tight ends, and you just said drop OJ Howard. We're like, yep, tight ends are done.
Tight ends are done. All right, defenses. Tight ends, yeah, but there is definitely some tight ends this week.
Yeah.
Dude, that Abercrombie and Hollister Finch, that's 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, Jacob Hollister.
Two big games from Jacob Hollister. They get over 80% of routes last week. He's been the tight end. Let me try and look it up. The tight end, like, where he's finished. But 2 good weeks in a row. Tied to Russell Wilson. You've seen what, Will Dissly did, who basically was a nobody before, Russell Wilson made him a somebody. So he's probably my number 1 tight end now this week.
I mean, they were drawing up plays specifically for Will Dissly before he got injured.
Yeah.
You got to imagine that they still have those plays, and they're like, okay, well, if we have a tight end that's actually like usable, and we can come up and we can use these plays with him, I'm sure they're starting to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, he posted two tight end 3 performances. 8 for 62 and 1, and then I forget what his other matchup was, but I mean, 2 good weeks in a row. Potentially no Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
He's questionable as of right now, so that's only a further boost. But Jacob Hollister,
Not mad at it.
Not mad at it.
Throw it up there.
Dallas Goedert, that's another guy. I wanted to start him over OJ Howard, but my gut was like start Dallas Goedert.
And your other gut was like, start Dallas
And my
Goedert.
mind was like, my heart was like, just give him a chance. Give OJ one more chance. My gut was like, don't fucking do it. My heart's like, shut
You
the
can't
fuck up.
trust OJ.
He's like, because I will stop and this system will shut the fuck down. And I was like, all right, you win. We're starting OJ Howard.
Dude, hey, you can't trust OJs. You can't trust OJ Howard. You can't trust
OJ Simpson.
OJ Simpson. You can't trust orange juice.
With extra
Sometimes you
pulp.
buy pulp and then it comes with, or you buy pulp, there's no pulp in
You gotta
it.
get
Sometimes
some
you buy
pulp.
no pulp and pulp shows up. Can't trust OJ.
Can't trust OJ.
That's just the fucking facts, dude.
You get the extra pulp. It's like you're drinking an unblended smoothie. You're like,
Bro, that. Yeah, I never understood
I'm not an
that.
extra pulp. I like some pulp though.
I don't understand the pulp, though. I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how to explain it. It just has elegance to it. I'm just making this up completely.
Okay,
But
let's-
we'll get back to football. Yeah, I was talking about Dallas Goedert. I think he's a top 12 tight end on the season. He's getting weekly targets and he's doing the most of what he's getting. If that makes any kind of sense, it does make some sense.
He's making the most of what his
Yeah,
targets are.
that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look up his numbers. He's making the most of his opportunity.
Playing Seattle. Yeah, I mean, I think that what happened is in this past game they kind of shut down. Well, they didn't because what's his name? Fucking Zach Ertz put up some decent numbers.
Yeah, and he was 3 for 36 himself on a touchdown against New England. So they do get Seattle this week, who's a lot better matchup than New England.
We've seen just drop all the receivers and get tight ends.
Yeah, we've seen him score in 4 out of the last 7 weeks, so he's had a touchdown. For a tight end to score basically almost at a 50% rate, that's above a 50% rate. That's what you like to see in those, lower type of tight ends. You're banking on the touchdown, and he offers some high touchdown upside. Right. And Seattle, Miami, the New York Giants, Washington, those are his next matchups. So he could be someone you're playing, potentially for the next 4 weeks if you don't really have much of a tight end option.
I like it.
Another tight end. We got Ryan Griffin.
I like it. I fucking like it.
Ryan Griffin.
He's had back-to-back big games. No, not back-to-back. He's had some big games in there though. Chris Herndon last week, 5 for 102. He had a kind of a dud in there against the Giants, but 6 for 50 the week before that, 4 for 66 and 2. So we're seeing some life out of Ryan Griffin. But basically, he's what we thought Chris Herndon would be, and Chris Herndon is no longer there. So substitute the name Chris Herndon for Ryan Griffin, and that's what you got.
There you go.
Yeah, plain and simple. We're not talking anymore. We're done. I'm getting a little nervous for this next guy. Not nervous for him, but nervous from a beer bet with Andre.
Oh, the Noah Fant?
Noah Fant, because he's taking that T and he's starting to erase it from the board.
Yeah, Noah can.
He's been looking ever since that Emmanuel Sanders departure. He's been looking good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I think he did okay. I don't think he did great this past week.
He didn't do great, but the targets were there. He almost had a touchdown in a sense. It was not almost, but he was targeted in the red zone. If he would have came up with a tough catch, you could have seen him have a pretty big day there. So
not bad though. 9 points, full point PPR.
Yeah, 4 for 60. 5 for 25, 3 for 115. Those are his last 3 games, and the targets have been going up. So you just like to see the target share he's offering, the big play upside, the red zone upside. So. I mean, Noah Fant, he's number 21 right now. He might sneak into that top 15 after he was like the number 50 in the first 8 games.
Yeah. He does pull out some shit out of his ass. You know who actually was being used a little bit was Andy Isabella. I've seen him more and more on the Cardinals. I know it's wide receiver. I know we're talking about tight ends, but just thinking about Andre's guys that he was hyped on. Andy Isabella is getting more used. If you're in a dynasty league, Andy Isabella. Not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it. You got any more tight ends right there? I'm trying to think. Let me see what I got when I'm looking at.
You want to talk about my tight end?
Like your tight end or the Steelers?
No.
Okay.
Fuck it. Send it in.
Listen. You want to... Is there any other guys you want to talk about besides Noah Fant? Pick all those guys up if you're in need of a tight end, I would say. Right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me. Oh, actually, here's a receiver I got to touch on too. Sorry, we're gonna wait. Rewind it. Do we have a rewind? This isn't necessarily a homer, but if he's still there, it'd be Devontae Parker.
Sure.
I mean, we've just seen it's week after week after week after week. He's been consistent. Tre'Davious White last week, was against the Bills, kind of more of like a tougher matchup, you could say, and he still went out there and did his thing. And as long as Fitzpatrick's out there, you keep starting him. And then the schedule going forward: Cleveland, Philadelphia, the Jets, the Giants, Cincinnati. Devontae Parker could low key be, I don't want to say a league winner, but he could be that flex play that helps you win your league in a sense. 7 for 135, 5 for 69, 5. I think he's been pretty much 10 points every week in a PPR since week 3. So Devontae Parker, if he's there, grab him. Which I don't know if he is, but in some leagues I'm sure he's there.
Yeah, I think he's definitely there.
Sorry, I just want to bring his name up. Sorry. Lo siento, mijo.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Hey,
Should we get into that defense?
Hey, let's get into the defense.
That's my defense noise from now on.
Which defense has the most?
Testosterone.
I would say off the top of my head, do you go with the Raiders defense after they didn't really do what was expected against the Jets?
You can.
I think you can.
You can.
The Raiders actually have as many sacks as the Chicago Bears. Did you know that?
Interesting statistic.
Yep.
We are dropping for you.
25.
I'd say my two top defense picks this week is one's a surprise, one's not. I'd start with Detroit against Washington. Dwayne Haskins is Dwayne Shitkins. Just doesn't look good there. He's
He
just
has
getting
2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, if that says
and
anything.
I don't even. It was add the fumbles into there, so it's probably like
Right.
7 turnovers and 2 touchdowns in
Right.
there. And one of them was just like a screen pass to Darius Geis, who I know we didn't mention, but I guess he's someone kind of a deeper running back if you want to play the
Sure.
Washington Redskins backfield. But that was one of his touchdowns. But it's just been ugly for him since he's been started. I was kind of a little optimistic that giving him a bye week, giving him a couple weeks to get used to the system, all the rest of the one, that he would do a little better in a pretty decent matchup, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So Detroit's defense, and then another surprising defense. This is my surprising defense right here. Is the Atlanta Falcons? They've been absolutely terrible for the whole year.
Yeah, but you can play him against the Tampa Bay Jameis Winston.
Jameis Pinkston.
Jameis
Jameis
turnover.
pick six.
Jameis throwing games, shaving points.
I mean, like I said, I touched on this a couple times in the podcast that I'm just someone who like looks into like coordinator changes and systems and how that affects the game. And Dan Quinn 2 weeks ago gave up play calling duties, and ever since then, it's just this defense has done a complete 180.
Right.
Shut down Drew Brees. Shut down who they played last week. I'm trying to think of ahead.
Oh, Atlanta. They played the Saints. No.
It was Saints 2 weeks ago, and then they played
Carolina. Yeah.
Shut down Carolina. This is back to back. I don't say shut down the Saints, but limited them. But it's been 2 weeks in a row where they've
didn't shut them down, but they didn't. It wasn't like they were just open doors. Like, hey, come on in our end zone. Come in my end zone. You know what I mean? Like that's what they were not saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if did the Saints put up over like 14 points in that week?
I think they only put up like
9.
7.
Yeah, and I think they got a touchdown at like the very end, where it was like garbage time touchdown,
Right.
where it wasn't even like.
And they threw the prevent defense in there, where they're just kinda,
So we've seen them, hold the Saints to 9 points 2 weeks ago. You go back to the fuck. Where's the? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at this. Sorry, listeners. There is a delay.
Yeah, but your point you're making is that
Carolina to 3. So they haven't given up more than 10 points in 2 weeks. Jameis Winston, even if he throws for 400 yards, he could easily throw for 2 interceptions as well, or 3, or 4.
I like that.
Or 5,
I like that.
or 6.
I like that Falcons defensive.
Yeah, and there's always a chance for a pick 6 there. So
I would say Ravens defense might be there in a lot of leagues, just because I'd seen Ravens get dropped. They're playing the Rams. Jared Goff's been kind of fucking up.
Yeah.
The Raven, just because a lot of people were kind of scared going against
Houston,
Deshaun.
and they shot Deshaun Lamar shootout.
I picked up Ravens defense last week, and they actually put up a fucking decent amount of points for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not mad at picking up Ravens defense.
Yeah.
If they're there.
No, same here. Let's see.
I mean, that's kind of like they're not, their defense isn't as good as they've been, but they're definitely like top 10, top 15 out of all the teams.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the good half,
There's Cleveland's defense against Miami. That's, I guess, a okay one. I don't hate it.
No Myles Garrett.
No Myles Garrett. No one getting hit with helmets.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, I was thinking of that Mason Rudolph picture.
What'd you do with Bears defense?
I was thinking of that Mason Rudolph picture I sent with his head's like crushed in.
Dude, I got out of that banquet. I didn't know what was going on. That's so annoying. Dude, that actually got me pretty heated when I seen that. What happened?
Yeah, because you're Steelers fans. I forget.
Yeah, like even though I don't think Mason Rudolph's good, and I don't think he's our future. All that being said, it's like
Maybe
it was almost like you see Pouncey's reaction. You're kind of like, oh fuck, like dude, this is.
Have you ever watched
some gangster ass?
Yeah, Pouncey practed him.
Yeah, he came in there kicking him like a fucking thug, dude.
You ever see those shows where it's like an accident will happen, and like they like what was the one where I forget? I only watched a few episodes. That, like the guy got hit in the head like super hard, and all of a sudden he was like would see like number. He would be able to figure shit out at like a fucking crazy rate. Like he like.
Yeah, what if that's what?
But he's now all of a sudden he got hit so hard in the head that he's all of a sudden a Hall of Fame quarterback. He just sees like the field
He's
in a
like
different
Zaf
way.
Galifianakis coming down the escalator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about with all the numbers going when he counts
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the cards?
that's like Mason Rudolph. 2 fingers down. His speed versus he's just like processing stuff at like such a high rate. And Myles Garrett turns him into like the best quarterback of all time. He just like sees like reads
And
defenses.
that becomes like the Browns curse for the next 20 years. We have Mason.
He's like
Rudolph
throwing balls
just
behind
picking
his
them
back
apart.
and shit. Just like.
Fuck, that'd be awesome.
But yeah, I don't know what made me think of that. Hey,
That'd be
sometimes you
super
think of
funny.
shit and your mind thinks it, your body says it, your lips relay it.
I like it.
I don't know if that's how the process works, but that's how it's working right now.
But yeah, okay. So I would say I think you're right. I like Falcons. That's actually surprising, but I do like that. I
Hey,
like
low-key-
Falcons. I like if you have the Steelers. Obviously, you're playing them against the Bengals.
Yeah, and pick up Mason Rudolph if you're in a deep league, because you never know. We could
Okay,
be-
don't no.
We could be right.
Don't do that.
Don't. If you have a 10-man bench,
Pick up. All right, listen. Pick up Ravens defense if someone was dumb enough to drop them. Pick up. I don't mind the Raiders against the Jets. It's not the sexiest one, but I like Detroit's. We're just kind of naming ones that will be there. Cleveland's not bad. Yeah, I like it.
I like it. Oh, Buffalo's defense. No, they're owned. I just looked at a good matchup and I was like, wait, they're owned.
They're on it. Yeah,
99% of leagues.
yeah. All right.
All right, we good?
Yeah,
We
that's
Gucci,
all we
bro?
got.
We Gucci, fam?
All right. This has been the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast, episode 46. We went over the waiver wire for week 12. Hopefully, this information helped you out and you just dominate your league. So, if you want to help us out because we helped you out, go subscribe to our podcast on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at AverageBros_Fantasy Football. Give us a rate and review on the podcast app. That would be great and it really helps us out. Anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah. Follow us. Subscribe and follow.
Like,
comment.
you know, they don't show the likes anymore on Instagram.
Oh, they stopped that finally?
They're supposed to. I haven't really looked at it, but they're supposed to. You're not be able to read.
Oh,
on
God.
other
Here
people, how
comes,
many people like
here comes
your
the
stuff.
depressed people are going to be even more depressed.
Well, that's the point. That's supposedly that they're trying to.
Well, that's what
counteract
it's like. Yeah, it's like so. It's like it doesn't like. No, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, that's the idea. Is to,
I guess you can
too many
still
little
see. You
kids
can
are
still
killing
see like
themselves.
who liked your photo, but you won't see how many likes. Right? Is that what
Right,
it is?
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I like your photo, you'd be like, oh, Anthony Ross liked your
yeah,
photo.
yeah. It didn't take it away. You just can't see.
You just can't see
how
like,
many you
oh, I
got.
have 10,000 likes.
Anyways, give us follows.
Yeah, but
do
still
all that.
like our photos, bro.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah.
You fucking
Comment on it
weirdo.
because you see the comments. You can see that, hey, they have 100 comments.
Yeah, instead of liking, just comment.
Just comment.
Comment the word.
Just comment
word
like.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, do that for us. Thank you. This has been Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast, and we're out.
We're out. You heard it first. Mason Rudolph's the next superhero.
I was like, oh, say less.
What was it, like 40?
53.
Not bad.